It's time for a change of pace from the red carpet to the football. The Brownlow medal shapes as one of the most open in years. We count down to the first vote being counted. Luke Hodge returns from quarantine and eyes the grand final, but Brent Guerra rules himself out. Sydney stocks are all clear. Shane Mumford with nothing to answer for. Onward and upward. It's the Swans IBMCG. I'm Gerard Waitley. He's Mark Robinson on Monday night. The best week of the year. It's footy from all angles.
Is it really the best week of the year?
I think it is.
I would have thought that you would have thought that
Melbourne
the Melbourne
Cup
Week from the Saturday
We're in
to the
this
Sunday.
week. We'll deal with that one when we get there.
We do. Yeah, it's a wonderful week, you know. Everyone plans parties, everyone's scrambling for tickets. Favours are being called in from friends of friends of friends, and all the way through we just concentrate on two teams in their preparation. Thank God we haven't got really any major controversy this year. You know, we get someone up at the tribunal, injuries, and we've got news on that which we'll be talking about shortly, but right now it just might be all about the footy.
Well, it's been all about the fashion, Robbo. Have you got an education in the last couple of hours? Apparently you don't have to wear socks with your suit. There's all sorts of things I didn't know about.
Yeah, no, I haven't been watching. I'll be honest, I haven't been watching.
You saw a little bit. Best dressed?
I did see enough to make comments on.
This is so
my best dressed goes to Alex Davis. I just want to tell people at home, and you're going to say, yes, the sun comes up tomorrow. This girl is blemishless. She is an absolute gorgeous young-looking girl. I met her recently, and she's just, you think, wow, can God make something so beautiful? She's just terrific.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
Well, actually,
and it was a nice dress. Did you see her dress? Her dress had a beautiful black and white number on.
I've got three quick observations.
Yes.
The first is, I love a bit of 1920s debonair fashion.
Do you really?
This is what Tom Hawkins and his partner Emma Clapham came up with. Tom is all dashing spy here, the way he's got his hair going. I think that's fantastic, Brownlow fair.
That is really good.
Then there's star factor. So Scott Thompson, who's one of the favourites for this year's medal, one of the Crows players.
I saw this bit.
Yep. So he's, as soon as you see this on the telly, you go, oh, we know that girl, and then you know she's on the telly. This is with Jessica McNamee.
I didn't know. What does she do?
Packed to the rafters.
No, I don't watch that either.
Not anymore, but was.
So she says something about his guns.
Yeah, and knows nothing about footy, and that's cool. That's very much in keeping with the Brownlow.
I notice he's got a good set of dentures too, Scotty Thompson. Have a look at his smile.
And I've got one other observation.
What's that?
You know, when they ask, who are you wearing?
Yeah.
And, you know, for the blokes to go, oh, I'm wearing the black suit from the wardrobe. Well, it turns out at least one knew.
And who are you wearing tonight?
I'm dressed by Sam from Soho Workshop on Chapel Street. He dressed me and Jason tonight, so he's done a fantastic job over the last 6 years, always looked after me. So
well, you're looking very, very dapper.
Thank you very much.
Imagine knowing who'd done your suit.
He's pretty popular. I know Sam.
Okay.
Do you know him?
Nope.
Better get out more, Cal.
The suit's in the wardrobe.
Not that I've ever been there.
Righto, enough of that.
You're not going tonight, are you?
No. Brownlow night is to be spent with your wife. So I'll be going home to her. Benjamin, who's home, he's going to watch his first Brownlow count with me.
Yeah? He probably won't be able to see much, will he?
No. It was some sort of night.
That was a hell of a package. That was spine tingling. It really was. We've got some great callers in this country. I mean, the players do it, I know. They do it. It was just magical. But some people put some pretty good, nice words to that.
What did you think it was as it was unfolding on the night?
It took me back to 99. Carlton Essendon. They were back 12, back 13 going in Hawthorn. Unbackable. So was Essendon. And I'm thinking, all last week we were saying, they're not over the line, there's nothing, Kingy. And I love Kingy. And Kingy says, you know, the styles of football. And I say, mate, there's all these other things that are immeasurable. And it's desire and hunger and all these things. And choking. And dropping marks and missing goals.
It took me to 2007 when Roughhead dropped the mark in the goal square and Lewis dropped the mark in the goal square. Anxiety. That's what Geelong felt that night against Collingwood. Harley had dropped the mark and Corey Enright and Joel Corey let the ball land between them. It was anxiety.
But if these guys are doing it, and we're talking about some champs, If these guys are making these anxious decisions and they're jittery, and they're stars of the game, what a hostile environment it must be going on out there, you know, for these people to get swallowed up by it.
Preliminary finals are so distinctive.
Oh,
they're
great.
peculiar. They're awkward.
They're awesome.
And it sort of repeats and repeats. And players will tell you in hindsight just how hard they are to win. One of the men who was instrumental in it, he's part of our 360 family. He's at the Brownlow and he's with Sarah Jones, Brad Sewell.
Boys, I have with me Brad Sewell, who of course was part of the Hawks team in that epic preliminary final. How are you feeling emotionally, physically? You must have been exhausted afterwards.
Yeah, it was. It was almost a feeling of relief after the game. We were, we're all pretty spent. It was a taxing game.
Now, we've learnt today that Brent Guerra has said that he is pulling out of his selection race, I suppose, for the weekend's game. That must have been such a tough decision for him.
He did everything he possibly could, and we certainly desperately wanted him out there. So, yeah, a bit of a loss.
Got to respect that, though, as teammates, that he didn't try and push through if he wasn't quite right.
That was never going to be a risk with someone like him. He's a team man through and through. So, the decision was up to him, and he was always going to make the right one.
And how's the skipper doing with his ill health that we've heard so much about?
We've heard a little bit too much about it, I think, haven't we? But no, he's okay. He was in diapers there for a couple of days, but besides that, he's fine.
Happy to be on the waters tonight. Bob Murphy said before that he's got his eye out for rascally behaviour. You won't be part of that because it's all the focus on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's the first time in a couple of years we've been here and been on the waters, so it's certainly a positive for us. And it's a big week ahead. We're really looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, culminating in a huge day on Saturday for us. You
saw Sam Mitchell at close quarters throughout the season. Do you think he's a chance tonight?
Yeah, he's a huge chance. He's been terrific, and we know that he polls so well. He's right in there under the umpire's nose, so he bleaches his hair for that reason as well, to attract a few more votes. But yeah, look, hopefully he polls really well.
And your date, was it Buddy Franklin or Grant Birchall? I saw you arrive with them both.
Yeah, well, the three of us were on each other's arm tonight, so it'd be quite a night.
Robbo, I'm sure you've got something to say about that.
A quiet night for the boys all together?
No, it will be. I don't think it'll be quiet for Bob, will it?
No, we'll get to Bob shortly.
If I ever bloody get there,
He stopped and had a chat as well.
I'll enjoy it.
Brent Guerra, let's deal with this. This comes through from Hawthorn late in the day. Guerra has pulled the pin on his aspirations to be fit for the grand final. As desperate as I am to play on Saturday, I realised that I couldn't guarantee to Clarko or the team that I could do everything that would be asked of me in a grand final. It was a gut-wrenching decision to make, and it was difficult to address my teammates and coaches today, but they know that I have a job to do, that they have a job to do on Saturday, and that needs to be their only focus right now.
How professional, how selfless of Brent Guerra to do that on Monday. Sit down with the coach and say, right, where are we? And the medico staff will say, right, it'll be the 21 days, but Goo, we need you to tell us where you are. So he put up his hand and said, right, I'm not ready. These are the little things that must be put in place, Jared, throughout a year. Like, it starts at the start of the year, every season, and you've got to put things in place. Right, Monday grand fight, you ready? No, I can't play. Right, bang, that's in place. I'm out of the equation.
Yep.
So let's get rid of everything that could possibly be a distraction or be a talking point unnecessarily. And for Brent Guerra to do that so early in the week, well done.
It's sort of the new standard, isn't it? You think through, this would be the third or fourth player, I reckon, in 5 or 6 years who's come out of a grand final side. You just can't pretend. You can't cheat your way in when you're not quite right. There's that debt to the team.
There's no doubt. That, to me, I think that's the most important. You know, when you asked me during the year, what did you think about the Steve Baker interview with Mike Sheen? I said, I didn't like the sharpening of the socks. But what I didn't like was I went into the game really hurt. And I thought, OK, you're desperate to play. I thought that was not best. But this is what people decide. Could you imagine the guilt, I suppose, is the word, of knowingly playing in a grand final when there was doubt and there was risk that you could actually give as much as you possibly could? Be very difficult to live with, post the fact. Easy.
For Hawthorn fans, the good side of the day was Luke Hodge out of quarantine and a return to training. So the skipper here, that sort of landed with a good deal of shock late on Saturday afternoon when he was a withdrawal from the side.
It was a huge shock, mate.
And now that it's all fine, he's wearing clips from teammates. Brad Sewell just gave him one, and earlier in the day, Jordan Lewis had the skipper lined up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got no doubt that he'll play. He had the sniffles over the weekend, so I'm sure a few of his Colac mates would have been getting into him for missing a game with the sniffles, but he looks great this morning and he's ready to go.
Is there something a bit fishy about this?
Oh, you'd only ever know in hindsight.
We'll find out next.
Shockingly bad luck to be struck down with such severe gastro in the penultimate game of the season.
Have you ever had severe gastro? And I mean that. You know, I ask you some silly questions sometimes. I
have once, and there wasn't even a prospect of walking across the room, let alone playing a game of footy. Yeah.
Oh, well, I always say to you, I believe what they tell me. I'll believe it until Hodge comes out post-grand final and says, actually, you know what I'm glad to hear? I hope everything's all right at home. I'll leave it at that.
And we weren't too concerned about it, so, but obviously Shane wonders what the attention's about, but it's good to have it cleared up now.
It's a great thing to know that Mummy's going to be playing, and just hopefully that's all taken care of and we can get on with the week.
I didn't think he did anything wrong, but when you read the reports in the paper and you're trying to work out where they've come from, you spend a day or so just wondering what was going on, but we were pretty confident.
So no dramas to be had there. Just great symmetry across our codes this coming weekend with the Sydney team in the AFL Grand Final, Melbourne team in the NRL Grand Final. This is how the Daily Telegraph looks in Sydney. So the Swans get half of the front page with the Bulldogs, and on the back page as well, Sydney nice and prominent as the two cups are on display. It is.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I hope that will happen in Melbourne as the week unfolds with the Age and the Herald Sun as well with the Storm.
The time that he wouldn't get up.
What about Benny McGlynn? Not to catch you off there. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a harder call. Yeah, because I don't think he's done much damage. So, it's a big risk.
So that's a 21-day break, isn't it?
What's the recurrence rate? I don't know.
Well, in the old days when we were playing, Mark, it was 21 days was the rule, but they've changed that depending on the severity with the scans and whatever, and they always err on the side of, well, if you're going to be the 3, we'll give you an extra week. So,
problem is he's he's the kind of player that suits grand finals and tough games.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to be there.
He's good for their style as well.
You can't even put him as a sub because you might get an injury in the first 5 minutes and then you've got
the only trouble with hamstrings, you cannot really replicate at training what's going to happen in a game. Like you might try and get some fatigue at some stage, and if a training might take half an hour or something, or 25 minutes, but you cannot replicate everything that's going to happen in a game situation. So it's a big risk.
Hey,
it's a big risk.
Say if they had, there's a 21-day hamstring and it was day 22 when he's playing, so he's got that time. Would you play?
I'd have to see how he...
Juno, hasn't he?
I'd have to take...
That's 3 questions tonight.
I'd have to take the advice of the people around, the experts around. I don't think as a coach you would just do it solely on yourself, and what you see, you'd have to get the medical staff and get some more scans.
Big call.
And
big call.
Get all the facts, and then as Ian Chappell would say, when you win the toss for the green wicket, then you still bat. I think you'd still err on the side of probably not playing.
I don't care what any coaches say. When people are out for 3 to 4 weeks, they're not at their best.
No, they're rusty.
When they come back.
They're rusty, there's no doubt.
Now, you're taking a rusty player. I mean, you've got the risk of the injury happening again, and you've got the lack of...
Ask you another... Go the other way. It's all if buts, maybes, and how do we know? If it was Rioli or Franklin, would you play them?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You'd take the punt, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would.
Yes, you would. But they're natural ball players at the same time. They probably wouldn't lose their touch.
Great question. Great question.
Very good.
Well, he gets paid the big bucks.
No, he gets paid more than you.
I'm not the same ballpark. I'm C-grade.
Who's going to win the Brownlow, you reckon?
No. That's we're going to keep you for 6 more minutes. You're going to do 60 seconds with us, and that's where we'll find out your tips on what's to come for the Brownlow. Stay with us on AFL 360. Rodney Eade and Mark Thompson as we look ahead towards the Brownlow. 40 minutes away from the first vote of the night being read out. Don't need to go anywhere else. Just stay on Fox Footy.